Welcome, everyone, to Wednesday Night is Overbooked. New look, same great attitude. Ego's throwing gang signs already. Let's take a look at the
W
chat
for
really
Wednesday.
quick here. We got some folks coming in here. Okay, let's see. We had someone coming in already right at the top of the show. We had Mr. Jacob Ironside. Hello, Jacob Ironside. Got that wrench there monitored in the chat. Old co-worker of mine here. We got Frank Yakeley. He's gonna come watching this, watching Minority Report. Okay, well, we'll be talking about that with Roman not too in a couple of weeks. So you're getting an early start with that. So here we are, folks, and whoa, boy, we had some stuff happen. Before we get started, I want to thank everyone who is in the chat and watching the show. Please make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to share the stream with friends. Hit those subscribe buttons for all our channels down below. Doesn't cost you a thing, but it gets the channel going. We can get this channel, start getting the channel monetized, get us into the algorithm. And of course,
I say you better subscribe or we'll bash in some skulls, right?
it keeps Harley from smashing you with her mallet. So we're going to go in opposite order this time. So two right underneath me, the mat of 1,000 holds, Mr. The Unbearable 73. Matt, how are you, sir?
Doing fine this evening, gents. It's a nice quiet night in the cesspit of America, New Jersey. And
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, and right down here is the man who helped Grant Hill get through math class in college. This is, again, a true story. We have Duke Devil 95. How are you, sir?
Not a true story, not confirmed. He just beat me at Street Fighter.
Really? He did?
It was either Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. I forget which one, but
Really? Wow. That's awesome.
it's an odd encounter in the arcade on campus. Otherwise, I'm doing good and in kind of my own Royal Rumble going on. I've eliminated 8 trials from my docket in the last week.
Wow.
That's
Okay,
good.
making some bank.
Alrighty.
Oh, no, I don't make any money off that.
The man who, when he gets it's a broken clock is right twice a day. And so is our guest. He is also the originator of our new intro. A couple new clips in there. We're going to let him have a minute to take his victory lap. It is the Left Eye Uso. How are you, sir?
I am doing particularly fine this great Wednesday evening, gentlemen. I just wanted to say that I was told that I should be very humble in accepting victory for saying Jey Uso would win the Royal Rumble. But I'm not gonna. Yeet. Okay, I told you guys this was gonna happen. I predicted it. They say a broken clock is right twice a day, but they don't tell you it's right 730 times a year, okay? And this is one of those. Get ready for more Left Eye Uso predictions to come true. And for now, I will sip my victory wine. Yeet.
Sir, I toast you, sir. There we go. So, Brad, get your angry scotch ready.
You know, hold on. I'm so angry.
Even if I could drink alcohol right now, I will toast nothing to do with lame event Jey Uso. Nothing.
I'm not even. I've been drinking with ice. No, I'm going straight up.
All right, here we go, folks. Here we go. Salud.
I'd rather watch the Brooklyn Brawler win the Royal Rumble than lame event Jey Uso.
Wow.
That would be a surprise.
I'd rather watch Hornswoggle win it than lame event Jey Uso.
Just so
No,
you know it.
I want to go there. I'd rather watch the Gobbledygooker win the Royal Rumble.
Okay, wow. Okay, so
Mae Young.
let's not go with the women just yet.
Mae
I got
Young's
my
corpse.
with
I'd
there.
rather see Mae Young's corpse win the men's Royal Rumble.
That would be awesome. Zombie Mae Young comes back and wins the Women's Royal Rumble.
Wow.
She summons Mark Henry and he
that.
throws everyone out of the ring.
We can do that on WWE 2K25, I bet.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just to cleanse everybody's palate of this hostileness here. Something that is just lovely.
Oh,
We're just
I'm
gonna
fine.
Nice. Well done.
I'll be a dirty old man about
the
this.
most beautiful woman in wrestling of all time.
Her parents are our age, except for Left Eye.
Hey,
Wow.
I'm allowed to appreciate the beauty.
That's
Oh,
fair.
That is a wonderful moment, and it's going right into what we're going to be talking about, and that is fallout from the Royal Rumble over this weekend. On the whole, before we get into the specifics of each matches, Ego, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this year's Royal Rumble?
Like all matches combined, or just the Rumble itself?
Just the whole show in general.
Not 7, maybe 8.
Okay.
You know, I usually don't really think about it in terms of that. I usually kind of reserve that more towards Mania, I guess, because of how it's built up. But I give it a 7 or 8. It was pretty good.
And no, Frank, you're older than me. Mr. Brad, on a scale of the 1 to 10.
Yeah,
overall,
I'd
overall show.
consider the same thing as Ego. I'm sorry, Uso. 7 or 8. I thought it was a pretty solid show. Some missteps in some of the matches, but I think overall, when you look at what's put together, it was a very solid Royal Rumble. Just disagree with some choices.
Okay. Matt, out of 10.
So primarily because of the Cody KO match, a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That was an awesome match.
That's a match.
That was
That's on
great,
my
that was
list of
great.
match of the year candidates.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
That was an excellent match. I would say about a 7 or a 7.5. There were some grumblings about some eliminations that happened when they shouldn't have happened, and backstage heat, which we can talk about in a bit. But let's go right now and look at starting off with what started the show, the Women's Royal Rumble. I will go first. Some of the positives that I had from this match. I thought the ladies of NXT had a very strong showing in this match. Absolutely. I'd say of the NXT ladies that were there, that was probably the weakest and maybe out of place would have been Jade Parker. I thought Lash held their own very well. Stephanie, Julia are amazing right off the bat. We will talk about the star-making performance, I'm sure, in other spots as well. Miss Roxanne Perez was not just the Iron Maiden for the 2025 Royal Rumble. She is the all-time Iron Maiden. 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 47 seconds. Her call-up is due probably in the next week and a half after NXT Entrance Day.
Yeah.
I also think that newly signed Jordan Grace was in there for about 19, 20 minutes. Very strong.
22, 40 seconds.
She had the holy shit moment of the entire match, with a Death Valley driver delivered to Piper Niven.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I mean, as we just saw, probably one of the biggest pops of the entire night was the return of Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
And the back of her jacket, it said because you couldn't see the white letters yet, but it said Fiend Forever. And then when you saw the whites added to it, it said Friends Forever. Just a great tribute to the late, great Bray Wyatt. So I got a little teary-eyed when I saw that. If you know how much I've enjoyed the character of Bray, that meant a lot to me. Now, as far as I'm going to let Ego go next, just a couple quick little things that you really liked about the Women's Rumble.
Well, not bad. I mean, spacing was decent. I think, like I said, I think that they do a lot better when there's more women in the ring as opposed to like one-on-one. Biggest spot for me was, of course, Jordan Grace, Death Valley driver on Piper Niven. I'm like, that's fantastic. Nia Jax has to be next because of the pop that it got from when it did. I mean, that's the mostly that I got. I like it. I caught it towards like in the middle and the tail end, but I mean, those are the only two things that really stuck out to me when I watched it.
Okay, Brad.
Alexa stuck out.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I've always liked Alexa Bliss. She's someone who's actually proven herself more as a wrestler over the years, who didn't look as good from the beginning. But I think she really has the idea of being both a performer and a wrestler. So I'm glad that she's worked out her issues, contract issues.
Which, by the way, they got that done.
Very last minute.
Like 5 a.m. the day of the show. Now, the Friday rehearsal,
she wasn't there.
It was Shotzi. And and if the contract would not have been done, Shotzi was going to come in at number 21.
Mm-hmm.
So Shotzi is at Lucas Oil expecting to be in the match. And what was it? Alexa, her husband, and her daughter, they were down in Florida because they like going to Disney World. They got the call at 5 a.m. Her agent called her and said, we got it done. She's on a plane to Indiana. Indiana. She gets to the arena 3 p.m. local time, and they hid her away until she hit the curtain.
Damn, that's beautiful, man.
That's a tight ship.
Very.
Them lawyers work fast. Them lawyers are good.
Yeah. But overall, I think honestly the thing that stuck out to me most in the match, and I hate to say it, is we don't need. It's going to sound sexist. We don't need 30 women because I don't think they all really show up as well as the ones that do show up. There are some people in there who just cannot perform, and I think it takes away from the match. Again, it's just because I don't think the women's roster is full enough yet of talented performers to not seem, just more like divas. And of course, Nikki coming at the end did not help.
I will say this: the two people that were out of place there and are not needed was Nikki and Trish Stratus.
Oh yeah, I forgot Trish was there.
As much as I like seeing Trish. As I like seeing Trish.
Well, see, because those two spots that could have gone to Sol, that could have gone to Sol Ruka, that could have gone to Zarya, that could have gone to Shotzi, that could have gone to Blair Davenport, who's been in catering for 4 months.
Yikes.
Well,
if she keeps eating catering,
I'll disagree there, Joker.
And that's fine. Okay, Matt. Matt.
Okay, so
your thoughts.
First, this is the second year in a row the women's rumble is better than the men's rumble.
I disagree with that one.
Okay,
but that's okay.
Granted, some of that's because of the winner, of the men's rumble. But the issue with Trish, there's a tradition with the rumble that you get at least one legend coming back. It's almost every year, and it doesn't feel right what having as one legend coming back. It just don't feel right, Okay. And there's a marketing value to that. You can have your Trish in the Rumble T-shirt they could sell now probably $500,000 or whatever.
Okay.
But that being said, there's a tradition, and tradition is important in pro wrestling. Now that being said, Roxanne Perez established her stardom on the big screen, so to speak. I've kind of followed her on and off since she was in Reality Wrestling as Booker T's promotion quite a few years ago, and in NXT she was the best thing in NXT till Yulia and Stephanie McCourt came along, basically. So she stands out. The work that Piper does, not just with the Death Valley Driver and Jordan, but throughout the match, setting people's spots up left and right. Yeah. She is an underused talent for whatever reason. I really wish they'd take Hart and Chelsea off the comedy tier and put them into the serious work tier because they're both excellent workers. A couple other spots. The ladies did very well, and this is why having ladies is why I would always recommend them having triple threats, fatal four ways, and all that. Because when there's more than two of them, They can set the spots up much better. There's physical limitations with the women, and if you have 4 of them, they can set the spots up much better than if there's only 2 of them. Whereas the men could usually do 2 guys instead of always eliminating spots. Not all the women can do that, So that's kind of my thoughts on it. So
just a quick question. I didn't know if they had a hey, at least one person's going to be a legacy. Like if it were up to you guys if it was a 30 woman Royal Rumble, would you be like, 24 WWE women's wrestlers that are on the current roster, 3 NXT, 1 TNA, and a legacy? Would y'all be okay for that kind of a structured Rumble?
No.
Or okay,
No.
y'all don't. It just whoever you can get that's good.
I am of the mind now. When this first started, when the women's Rumble started in 2018, there was not enough women on the roster, active roster. So you needed a Trish, Kelly, Ellie, Brie, Nikki to show up to be to fill this spot. I think the women's roster now is full enough that you don't need the legends anymore.
Okay, all right.
That's just my opinion on this. I understand it's fun to get a little pop here, but I don't see a major rush to go buy Trish Stratus shirts. I'm
not saying it's for Trish Stratus shirts. I'm saying fans enjoy that tradition of seeing that 1 or 2 legends
cameo.
Yeah.
And I understand that. For my personal taste, I would like to see more active roster women there because, as we know, there's not enough of them that get enough screen time anyway, and this gives them a chance to do something. Because when you come into the ring, you get at least a 30-second moment to shine, that the spotlight puts on you. Now, there were some things that I really did not like. At one point, there was 15 women in the ring at one time. Yeah. That is too many. Too many. I mean,
that's an ugly battle royal start.
This gets to a point to where there's too many bodies in there, and timing can be thrown off, and it's just hard to focus on certain things. You keep it around 8, 9, 10 tops in there, and you're fine.
On that point, Joker, I noticed something about the last couple of Rumbles, the last couple of years versus the previous ones. For some, usually the structure of the Rumble is they'll load up a bunch of dudes, and then someone will come in like Kane or whatever and knock 5 guys out.
Yeah, the diesel squad.
For the last couple of years, they haven't done that as much. And like you said, now there's 15 or 20 women in there, and the same thing happened in the men's Rumble. Although I think Braun Breaker knocked a bunch of dudes out when he came in, if I remember correctly.
He and Jacob did, yeah.
And Nia had that one spot, obviously.
And that spot there
was a good idea. Let me say it was a good idea, but it was done incorrectly. But she should have done like a cross body against the whole pile of them, like showing that they can't stand our mess. Not that she runs over and hip checks the rope and it,
So that leads me to my 2 biggest complaints. One was entrant number 27, the coveted 27 spot, complete with pyro. Who else got pyro in their intro? No one else did. Charlotte fucking Flair.
You like her as much as The Rock.
I can't stand that cunt. So anyway, as I was saying, that's right. I said it, and I'll say it again too.
Don't call The Rock the C word.
I'll call him it too. See you next Tuesday. So, it's the minute I saw the pyro come in, it telegraphed it immediately. When my pick EO came in at number 1, I'm like, oh crap. Not saying it can't happen because it has happened. A winner from the number 1 spot. It's happened a few times. But that spot from Nia, where she knocked out like 5 or 6 women at the same time, and you were left with Julia, Roxanne, Liv Morgan, Nia Jax, Nikki Bella, and Charlotte. Gee, I wonder who's going to win.
Nikki Bella.
No.
Oh,
Now, to be full disclosure, I do have in my overall head canon picks, whatever, I do have Charlotte going to WrestleMania for a title against Tiffany Stratton, but I had her going through the Elimination Chamber match because for that, you've got to win at least a qualifying match. You've got to win a match to come in. This is the same thing with Charlotte for the last 10 years. She goes away, she comes back, and she's just handed a championship match.
Well, she's one of Triple H's people.
Okay. She was also one of Vince's too. And I am sick and tired of Charlotte.
I agree with you in a sense. Like
I am sick and tired of Charlotte Flair just showing up with her Charlotte in the back card. And there you go.
well, she's recently divorced, so let's cut her.
I don't care.
Right?
Do not care. Do not care. And then for the gall of this woman to come in on the Monday Night Raw and try to cut a babyface promo.
She's
Um,
not. She's
Yeah,
not a
and
baby face.
just
Not a good idea.
So
Charlotte is not a baby face.
I mean, now to be fair, she wasn't quite getting Kofi and Xavier heat. She wasn't getting Dominic heat. But it's pretty clear that the fans were not in support of Charlotte Flair winning the Royal Rumble. There's something about the Royal Rumble.
I had a hypothesis about that.
Okay, go on.
So I did not read anything yet. I will go looking for this or in a week, see if there's anything about this. I had a theory that Triple H told her, go out there and see if the crowd is going to treat you like a face or a heel and swerve your promo to jack it up.
And that's quite
and
possible.
she did that. She did that again with the big,
And that's very possible. But the fact that, and this will go into the men's Rumble and why I'm not as mad as this, because John Cena could have done the exact same thing. Come in.
That's true.
And politicked and said, hey, this is my last year, my last Rumble. I want to win. I want to go over. He didn't. John Cena, as much as I do not like him as an in-ring talent, is selfless. Charlotte Flair is selfish. And last night in NXT, when she came and cut her promo with Julia, Roxanne, and Bayley, and she's like, hey, do y'all remember the last time I won the Rumble and I challenged the NXT Women's Champion and she got booed there? She got booed there too. You know why? We remember. And it wasn't good.
Right.
So that's for the Women's Rumble. Now, we can probably the least interesting match, which I thought could have been good. This was three good TV tag team matches just clumped into one match.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It felt like a SmackDown or Raw match, but it was a good match. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, but I fast forward through it. I didn't really care.
Now, the Street Profit angle at the end. Okay, great. At least SmackDown is doing something with their tag teams.
Fair.
Agreed.
So
I would have preferred to see like an IC match or a US title match or something in that spot.
Yeah.
Just because this felt like a match. When I say it's a Raw SmackDown match, not that the match quality wasn't PLE level, but that it was continuance of a plot, basically. With the
TV match. Now,
storyline.
Probably the banger match of the entire night. Kevin Owens
is rough.
and Cody Rhodes in a ladder match. I liken this to the Punk and Drew Hell in a Cell match. This was not a spot fest. This was just a brutal, aggressive, angry, violent match.
Yeah.
And so
there were a lot of spots. It was a well-done match, you know.
Right. It wasn't your typical ladder match, high-flying spots, doing backflips off of ladders and stuff. This was the ladders were used as, I mean, the spots that they got dropped on the ladders with, that looked like it just sucked. Absolutely just sucked. My only criticism of that match is they did not need to go into the crowd. That's just my personal thing. But this was a banger match. This was an absolute banger.
Yeah.
And the end, that Alabama slam. Oh, dear God. That just, okay. I want you guys' reaction to that. Matt, I'll start with you. You're muted.
You mean the slam or the whole match?
The whole thing, and especially the Alabama slam.
Speaking as someone who wrestled in high school and knows what some of those moves sort of feel like, right? Even though they're doing it not to hurt each other, but getting slammed on the mat always hurts, right? These guys, didn't I say this like a week or two ago? Like, even in the prime of my health, I would not want to do some of the things they do.
No. Yeah, not at all.
And these guys are going to get up and wrestle on Monday Night Raw, on house shows within a week, and I'm just impressed. This match,
Hello, Master Swag.
This match is almost a 10 out of 10. To me, it's like a 9.5. I think there was one little botch on one of the jumps that he was off trying to catch him or something, and it didn't take away from the match. Like, he didn't break it, and so it's almost a 10 out of 10 for me. And it's a strong year. But again, Cody's a top level wrestler, and Kevin Owens is one of the 10 best on the planet. So it's like, you get that, and these guys they work their asses off. So there's my thoughts on it.
Brad, your thoughts?
There are times when you watch something and you just cringe, or like you see it on TV and you almost feel it viscerally, the way it's presented. That's what some of those spots were like. It's just like seeing it, and it's happened before in ladder matches, and more in ladder matches and table matches for me, because we know how the tables work, but the ladders are just so rough. I mean, with like JD,
and the sound of it, and the sound of a ladder.
Like last week when we saw JD basically almost kill himself,
right
on the back of the on the
table,
back of his head, on the announcer table. You see KO taking that onto the ladder. It's like, F me, man. I'm like, I feel that, and I'm sitting at home watching on my TV. I mean, and the other thing that I thought about this match was, I'm wondering if they're building a dark side Cody a little bit.
At the end, when he comes back and stands over him.
Yeah, a little like, Anakin's a good Jedi, but he does some stuff that's a little dark. I mean, look, Cody has not taken out a village of Tusken Raiders yet, but he's showing some darkness. So I'm wondering if they're getting towards a dark roads to shift the belt off him at some point.
I don't know if we're gonna go complete a Homelander yet, but you never know.
It could not. Well, I think maybe later in the year. But I feel like the way that he did that lays the ground to say, look, Cody's he's doing like the John Cena thing right now.
The white bread boy.
The white bread kind of like the Make-A-Wish guy, all that shit. But Cody can do more than that now, having seen him outside the WWE. So I'm wondering if it's like, look, at some point, thinking in the future, because this is what wrestling is. You lay the seeds for stories down the road.
Long-term storytelling, right?
Taking a dark turn for Cody and let him go dark Cody. It won't be anytime soon, but definitely there are some elements to the ending of that match that said a little Sithy.
Well, you're not wrong.
Ego, your thoughts?
That was a fantastic match. They should rename that move from the Alabama Slam to the Alabama Goddamn That Hurt.
F me, that hurt.
Yeah, I was like, I saw it. I was trying to be like, is my brain telling me, my eyes, what they're seeing right now? And I started bleeding. I was like, oh wow, that was a really big shot.
And the sell job that Kevin Owens did to it, just
Phenomenal.
folded himself in half,
Yes.
not moving. It's just,
I don't think it was a very difficult sell.
probably not. Probably not. And if you
Yeah.
saw, and if you saw the Monday night at the end of the show, Kevin Owens still, I'm sure, is still in pain, but really selling like the injuries that he took, just delivering a package pile driver to his best friend, which kind of leads me to believe that maybe we're going to get that match at Elimination Chamber that I was talking about, which may happen.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it was a very great match. And sometimes I think, to me, just from what I've seen as a generally casual observer, kind of getting to pull behind the curtain, thanks to you guys, is that it's very hard to end a feud, especially one that could technically go the entire year. To me, rarely is there one that I'm like, yo, it's a wrap, it's done, it's over, we're not revisiting this for years, like Punk and Drew. That match,
Wow.
once that bad blood was over, it's done. For Cody and KO after this match, it's done. You know, you guys did a fantastic job, but this rivalry is dead now. Everyone moves on. But the minute I saw Cody hold the title, I'm like, yo, heel turn now. If it's not at Rain or after, like, it's got to happen. But I like
Joker?
the fact they're at least sowing the
Yes.
seeds for it now.
Let me ask you this real quick.
Okay.
On Kevin and Sammy.
Mm-hmm.
We are obviously setting up for confrontation. I kind of feel that it's a WrestleMania confrontation.
No.
Okay.
This will be a elimination chamber match between the two of them. I see Kevin Owens' path at Mania against Randy Orton,
Okay.
and I see, which has been very interesting because the guy has not been getting a lot of in-ring time, but every time he gets TV time, he maximizes it, everything, and he's been just a poking Sammy.
Oh,
I
Karrion?
could see a match between Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross at
Okay.
Mania.
Okay. Well, I'm going to trust you because I know Paul sends you his notes.
Right. Thank you. And also, let's got something right here. We're already at 8 likes. We get into a couple more likes. We'll figure out something because Real American Beer just didn't work for us, brother. So we come to the main.
Someone out there subscribed to Joker Voice that gave him the 700.
I know, right? So we come now to the main event, and that is the men's Royal Rumble.
You mean the lame event?
Okay, so be quiet. I'm gonna start to call you Ryan soon, so just calm down there, Sparky. I'm kidding, joking. So anyway, this is, as I said, this was probably the most stacked Royal Rumble match as far as story goes since 1992, the greatest Rumble ever, and I still stand by that. I liked the fact your opening 2, you had Rey Mysterio and Penta. Now, I did say that Penta should be one of the first 2 to give him that time to strut, to get the Cero Miedo over with fans, let him just interact and let him just shine. And I also found it kind of funny that the starting 2 are Penta and Rey. Penta and Rey. Penta and Rey. Not Rey Phoenix, of course. But I also like the fact that once they got into the ring, the fans are cheering, the fans are whooping it up, the bell rings, and Rey still lets Penta just soak in the moment. And I thought that was a very classy touch on Rey Mysterio. And then we had Chad Gable, and then four of the next was it out of the first 8 people that were in the Rumble, half of them are luchadors. So I'm like, oh, this is Chad's worst nightmare here. So also
He can't wrestle luchadors.
I know he can't.
That's what
He
I've
has to
heard.
go to. He has to go to the dark side now.
Dark
I also like the fact that we did get a return. AJ Styles. Good seeing him back in
Mhm.
action. He looked great. The two big monsters, again, as Matt talked about last week, some of the camera work when Jacobs tossed over a few folks and the cameras focused on him, all of a sudden, just in frame, a little blurred, you see Braun, and then you get that stare down. Now they didn't interact, but still, that stare down is enough to get the crowd excited.
Yeah.
Great moment there. And really, this is kind of a tale of two matches, because up to number 15, you had, Jacob and Braun were kind of brought the excitement into the match, and Penta as well. Once Roman hit at number 16, it kicked into another gear.
Yeah.
So, Ego, quick thoughts on the men's Royal Rumble.
It was decent. I mean, like you said, it was a tale of two different rumbles, kind of. I really, really appreciate Ray giving Penta his time to strut and enjoy his moment. I mean, I do think, Cedar Miedo is going to go over wildly if it isn't already. So it was really great that he actually allowed him to do that. But I mean, it's like you're getting the Wrecking Crew, people working in by 15, and then by 16, you're like, oh shit, it's about to get real. I think the great thing is we almost kind of, for the moment, forgot who was coming in because of what was going on in the ring 1 to 15. And when 16 came in, it got real. I don't know if we're talking about the way it ended now, or you want us to hold back on it.
Not yet.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I thought it was very well spaced and put together because of how it was set up to begin with Ray and Penta.
Okay. Brad, your thoughts minus the ending.
Minus the ending. Very impressive. We're able to put Speed back together into one whole piece after he's basically
Good
split
Lord.
in two.
Man,
Oh, God. Wow.
did not teach him how to take a spear at all. Man.
24 hours. In 24 hours, over 300 million views.
Man.
And
that
you know what?
It's a chiropractor.
He still lasted longer than Ludwig Kaiser.
Oh, God.
Ooh.
And there's always there's always that guy who gets the spot that year.
Did Kaiser beat Santino's?
No.
No.
Santino is still at 1 second. Hey, we got some guys right here. Fracture Filter, hello, sir. And we also
I know
got
him.
Mr. Thomas Preston. He got his like in as well. Awesome. Thank you guys for showing up.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised Logan Paul showed up at number 30 because he does his celebrity thing. But the only celebrity was actually I Show Speed. There were no legends in this, which is actually kind of good. And again, I thought for the most part, again, this is the difference between the men's roster and women's roster, where they're still developing solid, constant working talent. The men's roster is overflowing at this point with guys who can go in the ring. And I don't think there was much to me that was saying like there's really much slow point. For me, there wasn't a lot of slow points in this, and like it's kind of dragged or stuff looked very sloppy. No one had huge elimination numbers though. I mean,
No,
it wasn't. It was Jacob and Rowan both had 4. That was the highest number.
Yeah.
And also Penta was the Iron Man of this match.
Yeah, he got a little over 42 minutes.
Yeah.
So, and we knew Cena was going to come in. And we knew I was not surprised, because I actually picked Cena winning the Royal Rumble. Did I pick Cena or Punk?
Punk.
I think I picked Punk.
You did pick Punk.
I did pick Punk. I think on our original the first time I picked Cena, then now I pick Punk. But yeah, I've already expressed my issues, and I will talk about them later. But overall, I thought it was a really good men's Royal Rumble match.
Okay, Matt, your thoughts on the Rumble itself, minus the ending?
Well, overall, it's a downer for me. Although I will say this, the pace. This is one of the best paced Royal Rumbles in years.
I would agree.
As far as where they could have put Legend in, put him where the Miz came in. The Miz had nothing going on. He's a mid-tier character, comedy character at this point.
Mm-hmm.
They could have brought a Legend back for that. That spot. I like Joe Hendry. He got a little. He moved a little around and got taken out by Roman a few minutes later. So I like that sort of like showing that TNA matters now, but they're and all that. What else? I like a lot of guys did good work putting guys over. Cena did that, especially Cena's great at that. People that's one thing that they credit for. Cena's great at that. Obviously, we had the kerfluffle with Drew McIntyre and all that.
Right, and I'll talk about that.
Separate topic. Yeah.
Right.
I loved the opening with all the guys who can do lucha stuff, which really was a show for Penta.
Yeah.
So you can obviously all the other guys got themselves over too, but when those four of the first five guys being capable of doing high flying lucha stuff, let Penta shine and let him do more. Because if you watch the match next night with him and Kaiser, they had a mixed style match, and Penta really had to put Kaiser over if you watched all match more than anything. And so, but when you this is the thing, like I said, this is the whole reason AEW matches are interesting to me, because you have guys doing all the different styles and mixing them up, and we're getting more of that in WWE finally. Now that Triple H is letting more wrestling styles, and I love that line that Dio dropped on Raw was, "I'm gonna go find about this lucha stuff" or whatever he said.
Yeah, Dio. Yeah, the dark arts of lucha libre.
Yeah, the dark arts of lucha libre.
Which I'm like, okay, you're gonna go talk to Arca? Okay,
well,
maybe.
there's an angle they could do here, because Pentagon Jr.'s master is Vampiro,
right?
And they could have Table go to Vampiro, who's still out there, and then swerve him helping Penta beat the shit out of Gable.
Maybe.
Because the fans will pop at Vampiro. He's probably one of those famous wrestlers who never got WWE time. So.
Okay, so there was a incident involving Drew McIntyre and his elimination. Now, if you remember his elimination, it came off very clunky, not very well executed. He was eliminated by Damian Priest, and you saw the extended stare between the two. Apparently, this is because this is supposed to lead to a program going into the WrestleMania, which implies that Drew McIntyre is going to SmackDown, because Damian Priest is on SmackDown as well. So Drew McIntyre, this was confirmed by multiple sources. It was first reported by PW Insider that when Drew hit the back, he was cursing, he was yelling of someone just had to get their moves in, just clogging up space and time to get their moves in. Now, apparently there was more than just Drew McIntyre who had the same complaint. Now, I thought it was Logan Paul, because Logan Paul is, of all the wrestlers, is the most inexperienced one. Well, the problem was the Drew McIntyre elimination was supposed to happen before Logan Paul entered another ring. Now, in Rumbles, nothing ever goes off perfectly. Nothing does. There's always a botch somewhere. Something gets mistimed. But it seems to be that LA Knight was kind of taking a little more time, kind of going into big business for himself in some spots to get himself over. So, and if it's gonna come down to Logan Paul or LA Knight, the one who's gonna take the heat is LA Knight. Yeah. Because Logan Paul and the WWE with Prime and the sponsorship there, they're in bed for a lot of cash. So, and plus a lot of eyes, whether you like him or not, a lot of eyes from Logan Paul are now drawn to the WWE. So they're not going to risk that exposure, and they're not going to risk that their financial investment either. Now, the finish. Here we go. Brad, you have been the most vocal. Please your case, sir.
I'm not a fan of Yeet. I feel Yeet is the same thing that What has become. I feel it pays, in my opinion, it plays to the basis side of fans who are just trying to become part of something. Jey Uso is a fine tag team wrestler with his brother Jimmy. I do not buy Jey Uso as a singles wrestler. I completely understand why he won the Royal Rumble. I understand merchandising. I understand marketing. I understand what happens to the crowd when he comes out. And when he walks out, like I said last week, Jey Uso could come out at number 1 and they'd still be yeeting when number 30 comes in and he hasn't even come in the fucking ring. So to me, Jey Uso, like Joker says, it makes sense from the standpoint of the company. From a character standpoint, I don't buy it because I just don't buy Jey Uso as a singles competitor. They tried to push him as the IC champ. I thought that was a failure. I don't think it's going to work when he wins the championship from Gunther at WrestleMania. Because as we said, we don't like it. It's going to happen because that's apparently what the fans want. Sometimes the fans are right. Sometimes the fans are wrong. Jey Uso is not Daniel Bryan.
Okay. Before we go on, I want to welcome also Joe Atmosphere. And according to Mr. Ego, we are at double-digit likes. This is now the 5th week in a row, double-digit likes. Share the stream, guys. Get this out there. Thank you so much. We cannot do this without you guys. And again, just keep on spreading the word.
I'd say you better subscribe or we'll bash in some skulls, right?
And the best part about doing all that, it's free. Okay, Matt, I'll give you a few minutes as well. Plead your case.
Look, we all know that I can't stand lame event Jey Uso or little Jim Uso. Okay, I just can't stand them. And the reason I can't stand them has to do with the fact that they have all this athletic talent but do nothing with it. Okay, they basically just did copy the Young Bucks routine and don't. Anyway, so as far as the ending of this goes, I mean, I can understand the business reasons they're doing it, but to me, it's going to turn. The only reason I would be interested in that match is for watching how Gunther performed. I'm probably want to fast forwarding through it like high speed watching it because I just want all those guys who could have fought Gunther and won or lost and had a great match with him, and instead you got a guy who could barely wrestle. So,
all right, I will go next. I am not a Jey Uso fan. I am like Matt and Brad. I think as a singles competitor, he is not up to snuff as compared to who were the other heavy hitters in this match. There's about 7 other picks that you could have made that could have justifiably been the winner of the Royal Rumble. As I said at the top of the show, I did not have Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble, but I did have Jey Uso in a title match at WrestleMania. It's something about the Rumble that's special, that has weight to it. I didn't feel that Jey Uso is the name to have with the Royal Rumble. Now, after Punk, Roman, and Seth got knocked out, and it was down to Logan, Jay, and Cena, my worst fears were creeping in. my absolute worst fears were creeping in, and quickly Cena eliminated Paul. My worst fears were I was holding my breath because I did not want to see Dwayne Johnson and that chucklehead bald head of his showing up, throwing the last two guys out and going on to the Royal Rumble. Even though story-wise that would have made sense, I'm just so sick of seeing him. So I was pleasantly surprised because it was a unpredictable finish. And what have we been saying about the last few big events about Survivor Series? Saturday night's main event in December, the first Raw on Netflix, the last Saturday night's main event. They've all been very predictable and they've all been very safe. This was a move that was not expected. And in my 40 years of watching the evolution of this product, I have never, ever, ever seen a wrestler open his show to his entrance theme, have his entrance completely come to its end, and have the fans chanting, "We want more. We want more." And having Jay look right into the camera and say, "Hey, guys in the truck, can we start this again?" The fans are calling for it. The fans are overwhelmingly, again, and we talked last week of how many times the WWE didn't listen to the fans when it should have been Daniel Bryan. It should have been like Rusev. It could have been a number of folks. This time the WWE listened to the fans. And whether you like him or not, Jey Uso is incredibly over. So, Mr. Ego, I will give you 60 more seconds. Please, sir.
Thank you. I will say this. I would have been okay and understood if John Cena won. I get it. It's your last year. This is your, I guess this is your Kobe farewell tour of sorts. You know, you're going to get all your flowers at every match. But the Royal Rumble is, to me, synonymous with another sporting event that is in about 3 or 4 weeks, which is the March Madness. Okay. Jey Uso winning is similar to Loyola being in Sweet 16, James Madison University being in the Final Four, and Butler making it to the college basketball final. At any moment, an underdog can take their moment and get to the big stage, and it's for the whole world to see. Even casual fans will watch March Madness, but they want to see their person that they think is going to win at least have a shot at it. And for someone that's like, I love Jey Uso because he dresses like a highlighter, and fuck it, so do I. Hey, I get it. Like, he should really have an endorsement from Highlighter right now.
Cheers, sir. Cheers. Cheers to that right there, sir.
Thank you. But
I just got something to say.
Go ahead, sir.
To LeftEyeEgo.
Yes, sir.
I totally get.
Yeah.
I totally get your March Madness analogy.
Yes.
So yes, yeah, it's like that. And
But
if you didn't go ahead, damn. Go ahead.
Oh, there's
sir.
a
Go ahead,
but.
counselor. Go ahead,
the
counselor.
but is you said 2010 Butler.
Butler when they made it to the final. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
Let me
knew you were
show
gonna do
you.
this.
Wow.
Let me
You
show
were gonna-
you
You know what? No,
happens
I'm not doing this. No.
because talent rises above.
Ego, come back. Ego.
Oh, you can't deny the champions of 2010. Hi there. Hi.
Well, you had to go there, Ego.
I was really hoping it was
You
UNC. I
did
was like,
not
damn,
see-
I hope it's UNC.
That's a swerve, biatch.
Shit.
All right.
All right. You know, that's
Look, the worst part is we all agree. We all
Yeah.
agree with the logic of the WWE.
Yeah.
I just don't. I'm wondering if the fans are gonna at the end going to go, "Oh, this ain't what we wanted."
Okay. Now I have heard folks say that Gunther Jey Uso is going to be a crappy match. You're really underselling Gunther's talent then. Gunther is incapable of putting on a bad match.
Well, I said it will be like a not great match. It'll be like a kind of average match because of Jey Uso.
Or are you underselling Jey Uso's suckiness?
No, I'm really putting Gunther over because I think if anyone can get the best out of Jey, it's Gunther. And I think
all right, so it's almost 11 o'clock my time, which means we're going to start going into our next segment. But let's Joker, can I ask this? Can we all say right now what we think? Because I think everyone agrees that it's going to be Gunther he chooses based on the history.
Correct.
Yeah.
Who thinks Jey Uso wins?
Absolutely he is. Absolutely.
Who likes it?
I don't like it, but as I said in the back prior to the show starting, what this does is it frees up another possible headache and chirping from the IWC. It frees up Gunther to go into a Saudi show and finally put Goldberg into retirement, and there's no title on the line. Because that would have been just why does Goldberg get a title shot? Why does Goldberg get fuck off? He's not getting a title shot.
You know what? Honestly, the better thing if they would have done it was that Goldberg goes, I don't want the title. I just want to beat you to show I'm a better man.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'm okay with that if you want to bring him in.
Now,
if you want to, I don't think we need Goldberg to come back.
I would say at the age of 60, Goldberg is actually a better wrestler now than he was when he was in his prime.
Possibly.
Damn, really?
He couldn't wrestle at all in his prime.
I think he understands wrestling now more than he does before.
And then, and Matt, Joe likes your background there.
Yeah, not everyone recognizes the great movie Tarantula, 1950s horror movie, sci-fi horror movie.
All right. So as Brad said, we are moving into our segment, kind of the hallmark of this show, and we have something new to add to this. So pay attention, folks.
That's nice. That's nice and tight.
It is the Wednesday Night's Overbooked Top 5 with the intro video courtesy of LeftEyeEgo right here. And tonight's top 5 is top 5 best Rumble performers, not necessarily those who won, because usually the winner comes in later, but the best performances overall. So we're going to start with Mr. LeftEyeEgo first. And the way this works, because we have some new folks in here, our number 5 gets the 1 point, number 4 gets 2 points, and so on up. So our number 1 pick gets 5 points. So at the end, we total up the points for a definitive scientific, as Brad is the caretaker of all our records here.
I certify as a lawyer.
Yes. We'll take care of all of our records here. So, Ego, your number 5 best performance in the Royal Rumble.
All right, number 5, I got Rey Mysterio 2006.
Why am I not surprised?
I mean, I think you're surprised it's not like higher up, okay? That's fair. I got it as 5 for the for him being.
You're gonna hate me,
especially at the number 2 spot.
Duh.
For winning at the number 2 spot, he was basically stayed in the entire time. I didn't think they were actually going to give Ray a shot at this at all. With them winning and actually going on to win the championship at WrestleMania and start the I guess it was a 120-day title reign, all stems from this very moment where hey,
Boring.
All I'm saying is if you're under 5'8", you've had to fight your entire life.
We need to take your videos away. You
take his power.
Those are great toys. I love them.
Anyway, if you're 5'9" or under, pretty much if you're under 5'8", you've had to fight your entire life. So seeing Ray win, it was like, hey, us guys that are under 5'8", we can do this. So yeah, that's why it's number 5 for me.
Okay.
Mexican Tom Cruise for the win.
Brad, you're number 5.
My number 5 is Brock Lesnar in 2020.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Enters
A
number 1.
beast.
And actually, wasn't he champion at the time?
He was. This was the
This is weird.
Yeah, this was the only time where a champion was where a top level champion was in the Rumble, because he wanted to just prove that he could do it, that he could go in at number 1 and win the whole thing. And he got close. He got to number 13 and just. But go on.
What he did is he eliminated the next 13 consecutive wrestlers. So anyone who came in, he took out. And Bika just sat there like, next. Now he was then eliminated by Drew McIntyre.
Wonderful Rumble. Great Rumble.
Right. Which honestly would have been so much of a better storyline, but for something that happened coming out of a place in China.
Wuhan.
Oh, can we say that now? I forgot. We can say that now. Now that it's
Sure.
CIA confirmed.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that honestly, I only put him there because I thought 13 straight in a row was freaking amazing. And it was before, honestly, I kind of think Brock Lesnar's now become a bit of a joke. And he's got other issues related to lawsuits. But this was still when Brock Lesnar was the beast. He was a monster, and it was believable. And then the performance was so good that it elevated Drew McIntyre to the point where he was, except for COVID, would have been the man.
Right. Correct. All right, Matt, you're number 5.
My number 5 is the 2023 Men's Royal Rumble. This was Gunther's coming out party. He came in number 1 and was the second to last man eliminated by Cody. Now, I've not followed Gunther for years as Walter in the Indies, as a lot of people did. But with Vince, you had to change your name and all that. So this is the WWE fan seeing what he could do, and he was given Vince gave him the opportunity to basically be the Iron Man of the match, and he did well in every facet of the match, and showed he will probably go down by the end of his career as one of the top 20 wrestlers of all time.
Yeah. 2020. This was, I believe, Vince was on kind of in a.
I'm talking about Vince's career, like
right.
Okay. Otherwise, if Vince weren't there, he would have just been Walter. It would have been Gunther,
All right. My number 5 was going to be Becky Lynch in 2019. Recency bias. I gotta go. 2025. Roxanne Perez.
I know it.
I mean, that is just for someone who from relative obscurity, because as we've said on this show numerous times, most normal WWE fans do not watch NXT. So a lot of folks don't know who Roxanne Perez is. She's been in the Rumble a couple times, never really lasted long. And she not only was the Iron Maiden of this match, she is the all-time Iron Maiden. And I mean, when you're in that, so just seeing in that last 3, I mean, she handled it like a pro, but you're 23 years old and you're in the ring with Charlotte Flair and Nia Jax. I'm sure there are some moments where it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, and to start the match with Io Sky and Liv, I'm sure at some point you're going, holy shit. I'm in the ring with, 2 of the top
legends.
Stars. Yeah.
Legends.
So,
Ego, you're number 4.
All right, number 4 that I've got was Kofi Kingston circa 2012, 2013, and 2016. I think this is when he was doing his streak of saves that weren't 2 feet. Yeah, I'm okay with it. He's one of the few people I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know you could actually avoid being eliminated by doing all these stunts. To me, it's okay. It's cool. I could walk on my hands at one point, so it was just a flashback for me. Not gonna lie, it was for egotistical reasons. The pancake one, that was hilarious. And he was sticking a chair to get back in the ring was hilarious.
Pancakes. He stepped on pancakes.
He steps on pancakes. He pogo sticked a chair to get back in. It's hilarious. I mean, if you're not going to be one of like the last four and you want to make it memorable, why not? I know that it was done in 20, but I think it was done before Kofi was even doing it. But the fact that he kind of made it his own was hilarious. And if nothing else, it wasn't boring. So I got it at number 4.
Okay. Brad, you're number 4.
This was tough because I said I want, in my mind, I'm like, I want to include a women's wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost put Roxanne in.
Oh.
Almost. But I went with Rhea from 2023.
Okay. Nice. Good choice. Though.
And
that's a very good choice.
And you know, I know, you know, this was Roxanne's main roster debut. That's really what it was for Roxanne. That's great. But, and I know it's like, it doesn't matter if you win or lose the Rumble. But for this instance, I have to say it does. Because of what with Rhea did after that. Number one entry, eliminated 7, went on to beat Charlotte to win the championship, which probably sets up WrestleMania this year. But, oh, that's right. You think it's going to be Tiffany. I still think it could be Charlotte. We'll see. But this, I think, is really 2023 cemented to me. Her performance in the Rumble cemented Rhea as the star she is today.
Correct. Agreed.
And you know, if maybe a year from now, if we come back and do it again, I wouldn't have Rhea Ripley here. I'd have Roxanne Perez because what Roxanne does with the Rumble, because it's a performance. I know you said the performance of the Rumble, but I take a little bit of what happened afterwards.
Right.
So I think Roxanne, if she runs with it, she's my honorable here. She could be Rhea next year, but for now, it's Rhea.
And the thing about Rhea facing Charlotte that year, it took Rhea 3 years to get that 2020 embarrassment that Charlotte gave her. It took her 3 years to get that win back, because up until that time she's kind of floundering around. And yes, Brad, like you said, it established her as a superstar. All right, Matt, you're number 4.
Well, it's the exact same thing as Brad. So I'll use my little time here to say this. One thing I just thought about is since there's no suspense to the Elimination Chamber match if the Royal Rumble picks their target before Elimination Chamber. So I would do something like they can't pick their target till the Monday after Raw, after the Elimination Chamber. Then they have to wrestle, and whoever wins gets to pick their target first.
Interesting.
Because this way you have suspense in the choice, even though we can predict it. It's just, you know. Anyway, so like I said, my number 4 is the same as Brad.
So Rhea. Okay. Yeah. My number 4. We're going to 1997.
What is that one?
Stone Cold Steve Austin. Great performance. And especially at the end, as there's a commotion going around. There's the final 2 in the ring. It's Stone Cold and Bret Hart. Bret Hart throws Stone Cold out of the ring on the opposite side of the ring where all the referees are. The referees don't see Stone Cold hit the floor. Stone Cold sneaks right back in, and as the referees are all coming back around, grabs Bret Hart and throws him out the ring to win the Royal Rumble. It's the only time it's been done, and it was great. So that's my number 4. Ego, you're number 3.
All right, I was really tempted to put Cody Rhodes here, circa 2024, and it would make sense, but I'm actually going to go with Jordan Grace, 2024. The fact that I know you guys had talked
intro.
Yeah, 2024. Yeah. I will say for the fact that, hey, look, she was in at number 5. It was a TNA, so there was a cross promotion. I didn't even know that they were doing that. She was TNA Women's Champ. she was actually back in there, number 5, and she absolutely wrecked fucking shop for that first 60 seconds that she was in, slamming and power slamming all the way over. And for someone that I followed since her being in the indies, it was like, yo, fantastic moment. She took great chance at going over top of it. So yeah, I've got her number 3.
Simp.
Hey, I mean, I have you know what I like. You know what I like, okay? You know what I like.
Oh, I hope
right.
she doesn't turn. I hope she doesn't turn out like Jade.
I know.
I hope so.
Okay, Brad, you're number 3.
I'm going with Ego's number 5. I'm going to Rey Mysterio 2006.
Okay, Ray.
Again, I base it on overall performance. And again, Rey Mysterio at the time was not. This is a Vinnie Mac world. Rey Mysterio is 5'6", right? 5'6", 5'7". I mean, I'm 5'9", 5'10" if I stretch really long time before I walk. He came in at number 2, if I recall.
Mhm.
And also, this was the same year that Eddie passed, or shortly after Eddie passed.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of emotion going on with that. And he went over 60 minutes, beat Randy, beat Triple H, RVD, and then went on and won the belt. A 5'6" luchador in Vince McMahon's WWE.
Right.
Again, as I say with Rhea Ripley, you take that performance and bring it on. So that's why I'm looking at the totality of the performance and how you carry it on. It's not just for me how you did in the match, but what you did with it. And I think what Ray did with it for this instance puts him at number 3 for me.
All right. Matt, you're number 3.
My number 3 is the 1995 Royal Rumble. Shawn Michaels entered first and won the whole thing.
Right.
It was a great Rumble overall.
Yep.
I have to sneeze like a maniac. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. My allergies. Anyway, Shawn Michaels, he actually pulled off, like, back then, when you would go over the top and one foot at the ground, you put it by the rope. That was rare back then. He pulled it off, you know. And this is before he was he was a really good wrestler when he did this. Like, this is his greatness comes a couple years after this. You know what I mean? He built up to it. So my number 3 is that one.
Okay. My number 3 is the same as Matt's number 5. Gunther, 2023. Comes in at number 1. And a lot of folks, yes, he had been the IC champion for a little bit, but the IC championship didn't really mean anything at that time. This performance made you take notice of who Gunther really is. And he set the Iron Man standard. He was 1 hour, 11 minutes and change. Was the first guy in and was the last guy out. Was eliminated by Cody Rhodes. Just, the man is a stamina machine. Absolutely a machine. I mean, even to go through that match for an hour and 11 minutes. And yeah, you get little breaks here and there. But that's an ask. That is an ask to go through that for that long. So Gunther absolutely got my respect and got my attention with that performance. All right, Ego, you're number 2. Okay, MSK. No, it probably won't. Maybe if you just stop trying so hard. Maybe.
Or just you go to the conventions, you know, find. That's it, you know. You sound like that's the best advice I can give you.
And MegaCon is this weekend.
And maybe stop trying to say you're Harley Quinn. That doesn't work.
Well, it may work for some people. Don't count it out.
Okay, maybe. Okay. I'm just saying.
We'll have questions. We'll have questions.
Everyone's got a thing.
Questions.
Everyone's got a thing.
We'll have
Keep
questions.
it private.
Yes, so.
Keep it private.
All right.
Wow.
LeftEyeEgo.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, you know, I gotta go to this one.
I'm gonna leave that comment
Yeah.
there. I was kidding. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, buddy. Okay.
Well played,
Ego,
sir.
you're number
Well
2.
played. Number 2, I've actually got Jey Uso at number 2, 2025. I know. Yeah. So I will say that it was fantastic of him to actually win the thing. It could have gone either way between him and Cena, but to see him actually
You've
win.
driven Brad away.
I know you're scared.
that's
Hey,
fair.
Static. How are you, sir?
What's happening, dude? Yeah, I'm just overall excited that he actually got a chance. He gave the performance that he can do. It's going to be a lot of crowd excitement, a few chin kicks, and oh god, yeah. I'm excited that he gets the opportunity and he actually won the thing and got his moment. So I've got him in at number 2.
All right, Brad, you're number 2.
I don't know that I can top that. I'm going to go with the big red machine, the big red monster, Kane, 2001.
Kane, all right.
So he came in at number 6.
Right.
And he created the record then with 11 eliminations. In fact, I think he eliminated 6 straight. And I forgot some of this. I went back and watched some of this from some old stuff from the match back then. There were weapons involved. I don't remember.
Oh, that one, yeah. That was the hardcore.
Well, Royal Rumbles are hardcore matches. They have no. Only way out is over the top. So you can like hit people with sticks or whatever.
Right, but
it's not now.
Okay, but in this Rumble, there was a stretch where it was like Steve Blackman, Raven, Al Snow. I mean, it was like every hardcore wrestler.
Yeah. And there was one, like I was watching, and like Steve Blackman is hanging on to the ropes, and Kane took a trash can lid and smacked him in the face.
Yeah,
just like over the. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, this was the hardcore Rumble.
And for the celebrity part,
Drew
Carey was there and tried to bribe Kane. So we got the full gambit of Kane because Mayor Glenn Jacobs has a variety.
Badass.
Mayor Glenn has a variety of personalities as Kane. He has a comedic side and he has the holy hell demon from hell side. And he displayed it all in that ring that night, and probably one of the most iconic Rumble performances.
Is this okay? Is this the one where the Honky Tonk Man came out and Kane
he eliminated Honky Tonk
with his own guitar, just smashed the crowd out of him? That was great.
He was in his black suit and just threw him off. It was just like Kane was a wreck.
Actually,
He
yes.
was Kane.
Actually, yes. MSK, yes. Well, maybe you should question your life choices then. I'm just saying. Okay, Matt, you're number 2.
So as soon as you mentioned this list, the top 2 came to mind, like the 2 that will be at the top came to mind within seconds of you mentioning this to me.
Okay.
And the only difference between the 2 is why pick for number 1 has historic stuff to it that I will go when I get there. So my number 2 was the 2006 Royal Rumble with Rey Mysterio. He entered second and he lasted over 60 minutes. At the time, in the Vince era of WWE, the only place for a luchador to shine was in the Royal Rumble because he did not allow that lucha stuff in regular matches for the most part. If it weren't for this, so that's basically we all talked about this match. It was a great performance by Rey. It was great. It was one of the better Rumbles of all time, and so that's my number 2.
Okay, my number 2. Last year, women's champion, the role model, Ailey, came in at number 3, won the entire thing. Not only was she the winner, she was the traffic cop of the entire match. She's the one who's making sure everyone is in their right spots, trying to keep the thing moving as smoothly as possible. Plus, you had the story coming in with. You go, your wife's out.
She called me Blade. Okay, thanks, honey.
And then yes, Vanessa Hudgens is right. So you got the Bailey, who is acting as a performer, a conductor. Plus, you got the story with her and Damage Control as that storyline is starting to unravel. And she was, again, a time when they're listening to the fans. She was the emotional fan favorite to win the entire thing, and it went on to what I thought was to what many of us here on the show have thought was one of the best matches of the year at Mania between her and Io. So, all right, we're down to our top spot.
I think at least two of us have the same number one.
I think maybe three of us do. At least three of us do. Ego, you're number one.
All right, my number one is Shawn Michaels, 1995.
No, we do not.
I ruined it. Gotcha. Okay. Now I will say this because it was the first Royal Rumble that I saw, and I think I saw it on VHS. They explained to me the rules and then proceed to show me this one where Shawn Michaels goes over the top rope and one foot comes down, but not the other foot, pulls himself back in, then throws the other guy out. And I'm like, you just told me like how it's supposed to work. They're like, we hadn't seen it either. I think it was the first time that the first entrant of the Royal Rumble won the whole damn thing. And I was instantly a Shawn Michaels fan. From what I was told, from that point, it had been the first time that it had happened. So yes, I mean, there was an incredible moment for me, and I was like, I actually love the Royal Rumble. This is awesome. I'm in. So that's my number one.
Brad, you're number one.
Well, clearly my number one is I Show Speed.
Yeah.
Woo! 1992. Ric Flair. This was the first time that the Royal Rumble was for an actual belt. It was right after Ric Flair premiered in WWF at the time. And hold on. I actually wrote this down. I went back and checked the notes on this. And in his autobiography, he said he arrived at the arena not knowing he was going to win.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah.
And he was told that day. And he came in at number 3. And he said, and he's like, I think they did this to showcase to the WWF. I mean, this is, there were still very factionalized groups back in the time. So, AWA and NWA, they knew who Ric Flair was. WWF people, I was a WWF guy at the time. I didn't know Ric Flair. I knew Hulk Hogan, I knew Mach. I didn't know Rick. So they brought him in, and this put Ric Flair on a pedestal. He was already on a pedestal, but not to WWF.
Right.
And this showed what Ric Flair was. So 44-year-old Ric Flair won the Royal Rumble and won the belt he had never had before, the WWF Championship.
Yep. Matt, you're number one.
Well, it's the same exact thing.
There you go.
So this is historic. So I had listed all the reasons you just mentioned, but here's some more. So this is a historic event because wrestling back up through the 80s, after Vince had started doing his takeover, had kind of merged into sort of 3 or 4 territories in the U.S. Mega territories. There was WWE in the Northeast. There was NWA Alliance in the South. There was whatever you call the Northeast people, the Northeast. I'm saying that was where Billy Jack Haynes came from, Oregon, and all that. Yeah, and then there was kind of like the central U.S., like Minneapolis type of thing, where
OVM.
Yeah.
OVW, sorry.
Yeah. So those are kind of what was sorting out at the time. And to see wrestlers, the only 2 wrestlers who were known by everyone for the most part were Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair. And 3, I guess Andre as well. But and the mid-80s, Andre was on the downside of his career. So to see these guys in other territories, you had to either get wrestling magazines and order very crappy bootleg videotapes, or if you were like me and knew how to boost your UHF antenna with directional antenna, my little black and white TV that my aunt bought me, because she was great to me. the antenna was like the size of like it was just, I took hangers and power
The
amps.
ego. Do you know what he's talking about? Did you
I
have
have
rabbit ears?
no idea.
Rabbit ears, you got the
Rabbit
Check
ears.
Well, no,
Rabbit ears.
like stand in a certain
Oh,
way.
the antenna,
I
the antennas.
literally-
Oh yeah, those. Yeah. I was sorry.
but I literally boosted them with my knowledge of electronics and a directional antenna that like it was bigger than the TV. I had a tinfoil dish and everything. And
Oh wow.
so I could get UHF all over. So I would like UHF noise. Oh, look, there's some local wrestling. They're putting on a local station up there and so forth. I like every PBS, So that's the only way you could see these guys is if you did those three things, right? And then Ric Flair, and this is another thing. This was the beginning of the end of WCW. Now, very important to note, WCW was peaking under Eric Bischoff when Ted Turner owned it. It was peaking in popularity at the time. Okay, so it was doing well, right? But the reason it was the end was because Vince was notorious for if you weren't one of Vince's guys, like what he did to Dusty Rhodes, but Dusty got over because he did Vince's gimmick and made it work. So that impressed Vince, right? So he would punish you, and if you couldn't make his punishment gimmick work, if you were a big time from the outsider, an outside guy, Vince would basically like shithole you. So Ric Flair came in, couldn't be shithole because he was Ric Flair, right? Couldn't be punishment gimmick. So Vince put him over, and Rick was obviously popular. Let him win this event. And why that's important, because when WCW was bought by AOL, which is what caused the end of WCW, all the wrestlers saw Vince was willing to give them money and not make them look like idiots. So when their contracts were up at WCW, they jumped ship very readily. That was big in Booker T signing with WCW, with WWE, was the respect that Ric Flair was given. So as long as you would do Vince's little shithole gimmick and get over with it, at most he would give you a serious career. That was very big. Now another thing, I have a couple of BMW. This is the first Royal Rumble that you could win anything at the end of it. I think did someone say that? I'm not sure. Prior to this, you didn't win anything for the Royal Rumble. You won a Royal Rumble basically. This is the greatest Royal Rumble of all time, in my opinion.
Yep.
Not just Ric Flair's a great performer. There are a lot of great performers. If there's one Royal Rumble in history you should go out there and watch, it's this one.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'll leave some for you, Joker.
All right. With a tear in my eye, it's Ric Flair, 1992. There is no question the greatest Rumble of all time. Not only did you have Ric Flair, you had the ending. You had Sid and Hogan. You had Hogan being a little bitch on the outside because he got pulled out by Sid. He's like, no, whatever. You had a great story in there between Jake the Snake and Savage. DiBiase in there.
Oh, classic.
Yeah. You had Bret Hart, Davey Boy, Shawn Michaels. Just a star-studded, stacked Rumble coming in at number 3. The Relative Unknown. And it made it so much better if you're listening to it on commentary. Bobby Heenan is having a coronary the entire freaking match. And Monsoon is just egging him on. And it is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. The best Rumble of all time. So we have a 2-way tie for second.
We have a definitive number 1.
We have definitive number 1. So let's go with the number 2s and the number 1. With 8 points each, our number 2, HBK and Rey Mysterio. And number 1, with 15 points, it's the Nature Boy. Woo! Ric Flair, the good Flair.
I'm trying to hold. I'm looking at my notes. I don't see Ric Flair on Ego's list.
I know.
I gotta go back
Bro,
and check again.
I said 95 was when I checked it, so I ain't go back at that. I couldn't go. I don't remember going back that far. That's all. Only reason.
You should go back and watch.
Okay, young child.
Go back and watch it, dude.
Yeah.
I was like 6.
Listen to Bobby.
Okay,
Bobby's
okay.
commentary is worth it enough.
Okay. Okay. On Peacock, you can go they have an entire section just the Royal Rumble. Just go to 1992, start from
Writing
there.
it down
Paul
now.
Jack Sparrow, for the love of God.
Actually, I wonder
we
if it's on YouTube.
It was
Could be on
last week.
YouTube.
It was last week.
It might be.
All right. So thank
Yeah,
you
it is.
everyone for stopping by. We're about to say our
Wait, what was number
goodbyes.
3?
Who
It was
it's
all over the
epic.
place.
it's
Too tough.
all over the place. So next week, our top 5 best talker.
Oh, there's no.
Best-
I already have the 5 in my head. Didn't even one.
I've
Took
already got
1
it.
second and just didn't even.
I'm going to pick number 1 just to piss off Joker.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you right now. That's it. Okay. Okay. So with that being said,
And that guy is not even on my list, by the way, Joker.
nope, not even close to my list. So,
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We have the same number 1. Oh, shit. As this
all
week.
right.
Fuck.
And I want to thank the chat. We are 13 likes, second highest like count that we have had in a while. And you know what? Fracture, you're right. He is a menace. He's a menace. But,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I like the guy. And when he comes to Vegas, he's taking a bunch of us out to dinner. So I'm not going to.
That's right. That's right.
So I'm fine with that. So before we say our goodbyes, just one more quick look at the lovely little Miss Bliss, the 5 Feet of Fury, who originally was supposed to be was going to stay on Raw. Apparently, I have just heard she is moving to SmackDown, so she will be with the Wyatts.
Okay. Nice.
Oh,
nice,
interesting.
nice.
Yeah. So,
Interesting.
Ego, what do you have coming up, sir?
Shiro and I will be doing our show Ordinary Gains. This will be our Superb Owl. If those that understand that reference get it. If you don't, check it on Sunday. We'll talk about it and why I want to murder Shiro's best friend for her belated Christmas gift she gave my wife.
Wow.
I
I'm
am not
interested just-
offering paid legal advice. Just don't do that.
It was a threat. It was a threat. Digital threat.
That's actually still an assault charge.
God damn it.
Mr. Duke Devil 95, the man who tutored Grant Hill in math.
No, just lost in Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. My channel is Duke Devil 95. You can see me every week here, Wednesday nights on Wednesday Night Overbooked. I'm also on Static 2020's weekend pregame, Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And every week on my channel, we do our Wormhole Watch. We are rewatching Deep Space Nine from the beginning. Myself, Adam the Renaissance Nerd, Fractured Filter, and Jay Hitman are rewatching Deep Space Nine. Go watch us, bitch, and talk about it. This weekend, I will be at MegaCon. So we're going. A bunch of us are going to the meetup. I've already been chatting with some people in the Twitter and the Discord. Friday night, we're all trying to get together at Universal Studios. If you're coming to MegaCon, drop me a DM. We're all meeting up.
Okay. And Fracture, yeah, I kind of like the idea of Tyrion and the Wyatts going together, but they decided to go different ways. We'll see what this looks like going forward. All right. And the mat of 1,000 holds. What do you have coming up, sir?
Do you guys hear anything funny coming out on my mic?
No.
No.
I can hear my neighbors doing it upstairs right now.
Oh, fun. All right.
Wow.
Put the
Yeah.
mic out the window.
Well, if I raise it towards the ceiling,
Get
you hear it.
demonetized. Oh, we're not
Yeah.
monetized
Just-
anyways.
Yeah.
Just
No,
yell
everyone.
yeet.
But,
Just yell
Rumble
yeet.
exclusive.
No,
Yeah.
Ego, no.
That sound will be available on our OnlyFans channel. So what I come out tomorrow, Roman Empire. We're reviewing Life Force Extended Edition. Awesome movie. Next week, Wednesday night Overbooked, obviously. And on the questionnaires, we're dropping a video this weekend where we do our long ramble about, in this case, the leftist complaining about being what was the term? Gatekeeped out of our franchises, you know. So, and I will try. I mean, I'm trying to build up strength. I'm going to try to start doing at least a short video every week on my channel. It's tough to sit, like even now, sitting in a chair now. I want to get up and lay down. Tell how much pain I'm in. But
Matt, apparently Thomas don't want you to share the sound from your neighbors. Let's not.
Yeah.
See what we do. It's a puppy.
Yeah. And that's more or less it. Yeah. Yep.
All righty. And as Matt said, you can catch myself along with Matt. And this week we'll also LeftEyeEgo. We will be on with Roman of the Empire talking about the very cheesy, very fun, very naked movie Life Force. If you know,
Don't lick the microphone.
if you know, you know. And of course, check us back here on Wednesday night is Overbooked. Until then, folks, I want to thank everyone in the chat. You have been great. And I want to wish you all have a great rest of your week.
Woo!
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 Here's a chop.
Right? And oh my God! We have a mouse in the chat.
Styling and profiling, Squeaky. You're styling and profiling.
Look at that.
You know?
Hello, Squeaka. All righty. So until next week, folks, have yourself a great week. Have fun. Keep talking. Keep smiling. And until next week, toodles.
Here we go.
Is like gravity. All it takes is a little push.
Ah!